literally
It's not only,
wondering how I'm gonna. I said I had to reboot. It wasn't the computer; it was me.
yeah, I know. I heard you. I heard
You heard me, Nate.
you.
Okay, so we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and I'm gonna allow people time to come in. I'm gonna play our little intro, and your mic will be on, so just be
Okay.
aware of that
Okay.
while the intro's playing.
That's when I sing and I dance.
You can do that.
No.
Here we go. How's it going, everybody? We've got the beautiful, beloved sister, and Mackean is in the house with us. I hope I said the name right. I want to just give a shout out real quick to Angel Divine and everyone, Ariana as well, and everyone who continues to support us with your love and your contributions in your energy, which is the most important thing that allows us to keep doing this miraculously every day. It's been a long road, and everybody has contributed to it. So I just want to say, on behalf of Morgan and I and Soulspeaks, thank you very much. So, Anne, for those of you who don't know Anne, she's very connected. She's very down to earth as well, which is to me the best combination you can have, because she pulls in some pretty powerful stuff. We were just talking before the show, and I said I sent her a note and said I've got to reboot. I might be 5 minutes late, and I said it was actually me that needed to reboot after these two divine feminines. Now there's a third one, and I know this one's going to be just as activating to me. But yeah, I had to reboot, and I said, and you said you were going through something similar, and that when Morgan reached out, you're like, what am I going to talk about? I guess I can talk about what I've been going through, and that's really where the gold is. So, having said that, welcome to the show. Thank you for sharing space with us again, third time, third show of the day. Threes, everything happens in trees, like my grandmother used to say in her broken English. Everything happens in trees. But what has been going on for you? Because I know you've been connected a long time and you're immersed in it every day. How's it been for you?
It's changing every day. Well, I'm in a new life right now. So like a lot of people, where I moved from one place. I was stuck in the middle between the two places for a while during the crisis. And that was good. I was right in the flow. I wasn't home. I was nowhere. Oh, well, I was somewhere. I had a roof, but a lot of activations there, a lot of cleaning out there, a lot of just being. And then I moved in to this place. I've been here a month, a little more than a month. After 3 weeks, I got sick.
Wow.
Okay. But I'm at a just perfect place. I found a place out in the country where everything's green, where there's a lot of trees, where there's horses in my backyard, my front yard, where I found this place. I don't know anybody here. It just called on me. It chose me when I was looking. And when I found it, it was last February. And so I said to myself, okay, I'm starting a new life. just guide me where I have to go. And I was resisting coming so far from town, from my daughter. And then I said, no, let's go a little further, you know. And so this is how I found the place. I saw it twice announced, and then I came to see it. It was just a slab of, the house wasn't built yet. It was just a slab of cement. And I said, okay. Okay, so I looked behind me. I saw 5 horses. I said, wow, okay. I could see the trees that had no leaves. Okay, that's going to be beautiful. The windows are going to be on those trees. I won't see any other house. And then I looked at the address, and the address was 22.
Uh-oh.
You know, I do numerology, you know, it's like.
That's a big number.
That's my number. That's my manifesting number.
Yeah.
So it's too many coincidences. And so I, you know, I decided to take it, you know, but it took a while for it to be finished because of the COVID and the whole thing.
Well, congratulations.
So I got in, and I'm still pinching myself because everything's green here. Everything's green, 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 green. And I feel the second night I slept alone here, I was here, and as I was going to bed, I feel a lot of presence of the trees next to me. I feel the elementals.
Wow.
And as I was going to bed, I saw this dragonfly, this big, green, all green, came into my heart as I was going to bed. And I said, okay, what is that? You know? And then when I woke up, it's like, okay, the flash came back to me, and I said, it must be coming from the trees, you know, they're welcoming me. And then I was told maybe it's a dragon. It's a dragon or a dragonfly or whatever, an elemental just came from the trees. So it was like okay, we see you.
Yeah.
To be here. And then I met another person where he does oils, and he's 75 years old, and I just a fluke. I saw him, and he says, oh, wow, you know, you're meant to be here. This place has been waiting for you. He doesn't know me. You know,
Did he hit on you?
Yeah, well, maybe. Maybe. You know, I think he likes women, but, you know.
I'm just playing with you.
He's pretty connected. You know, it's pretty connected. Anyway, he says, do you know, he said 4 times, do you know that you're supposed to be here? You're supposed to, you know, I said to myself, maybe I could find a job selling oils or whatever, you know. And he says, no, you're not here to sell oils. You've got the light. You've got to do, you're here to work.
Wow.
Okay, but I came here without knowing really, this is my new life. We'll see what happens in the flow. What's going to happen to me? Where is this going to take me? So every day I'm in awe. Ever since I've been here, I had a week of ordeal, but it's again, everything has a meaning. Everything. Yeah. Okay, so I said, okay, I wasn't in fear, but I got this big, really tough night where I was cramped, like an appendicitis, because I've had that before. But it was on the left side. And then I found out that it's in the intestine. It was like how do you call it?
Blockage?
No, it wasn't a blockage. It was an infection inside my intestine, and it was 6 centimeters big.
Wow. And
so, so they call it the left appendicitis. It's the same suffering, if you want, because I don't. Anyway, so I thought it was just digestion, and it wasn't, you know, it was just blocked. But no, I got fever, and then I went off to the hospital, and they kept me for a week. They put in a catheter and started, you know, letting, you know, clean out the shit. So I went to clean out my shit.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah. So I went through it really, really strongly, physically. Wow. I wasn't at all in fear, not at all. It's like I'm really in the flow. I've been like that for at least 3-4 months. And so, okay, this is what I got to do. But you're in a hospital, and it's no fun to be in a hospital. So I started feeling a lot of things. And, I'm very clairsentient. I used to be clairvoyant when I was a child. And things opened up a lot while I was in the hospital. I started seeing a lot because there's a lot of people that died there. There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of negative energy. Okay. And so while I was in the hospital, I was in a room. We were 4, actually 3, and there was 1 bed free. And this lady, second day, came in to, and she didn't want to stay in one room because this is a medium that came in.
Wow.
Next to my bed. And she says, I'm so-and-so. And the guys that were, the beds in front of me, they said, yeah, she's well known. She's booked for a year in advance, So she's coming, little lady, 78 years old, just came in. She says, okay, she looks at me, she says, okay, I'll stay here. I like her energy. So she was staying at the next door bed, but she didn't want to go in the other bed because she saw bad energy. Okay. Wow. So she said she was there because she was dizzy. So we had an hour and I said, that's cool. We're going to be able to talk, it's going to be interesting. Won't be too long. We're going to talk. Cool. So she starts talking for it. We talk for an hour. She tells me what she does and all that. And she does tarot and she has a lot of clients. I'm so-and-so. I don't know you, but, pleased to meet you, but I'm so-and-so. She would repeat, a few times, but she was pretty lucid. And then she lied down. And then the night came and dinner and everything, and then she lost it.
She did.
Lost it completely. And it wasn't the same lady. She was.
Wow.
She was dementia, I guess. And then she started, and she could see everything. Okay, she said she could see smoke. I see smoke. Where's the smoke coming from? I saw it later. It's the entities. I saw the white smoke come through me, in front of me, and then go towards her. And she's a medium, so she's in a position where she's vulnerable, very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Well, she could see all these things, and she felt attacked. She said there was wind, but it was the air conditioning or whatever. She was moving around. She was talking, and then anyway, so she lost it. She lost it. And so they had to take her out. She even attempted to take my purse, but I knew it wasn't her. It was something inside of her.
Wow, that's a complicated one.
Yeah.
That really is.
It was weird because I was there and I felt I was holding space in a hospital. And I have friends, beautiful ladies that that I met on your show.
Really?
Yes, we formed a group, beautiful ladies, and I felt I had my team. Yeah. Okay, I had my team, and I had this team, these ladies. There's Suzanne McPherson, there's Merida, and there's Gayatri.
Wow! You're part of that? Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. I didn't know you were part of that. Yeah.
And there's Bernardita that you don't know yet. But I would love her to be on your show. I don't know if she'd like to come
in. See if she would.
Fantastic. And there's Luce, another girl from Montreal. All beautiful women that all have special gifts. I felt I wasn't alone, but I'm an anchor kind of person, like you said, I'm more grounded. Mm-hmm. And so I felt, okay, we're there for me, get rid of my shit, clean up my shit. And while I was there, I could see all the polarities that I had. I could see things, but without judgment. I could see things. Oh yeah, okay. I'm like that. Oh yeah, okay. I have this.
Come to Jesus meeting.
Oh God, I don't like this about me. And then I was triggered by nurses, and oh shit. Okay, that's true. I am like, okay, yeah. I did that. Yeah, okay. But then I saw the other polarity, the other side, and as soon as I saw, and I was thinking Morgan, I saw the two polarities. I immediately went into 0 point. Wow. Just by being conscious of it. So there was a lot of cleaning up for me, a lot. And through physical cleaning at the same time, they put a catheter in my stomach. Yeah. They put that in. And so that was, hurting. Anyway, I was going through the whole thing, but still grounded, still not in fear. I knew there was a purpose. I don't know what. Still, I don't know what. There's things that are going to be revealed still, coming.
And how long ago was this?
I just less than a week.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're a week out of the hospital.
I was a week at the hospital. Well,
Wow.
5 days. Yeah. Yeah. I came back Tuesday, and I'm going back to see the doctor tomorrow.
So that's a powerful episode. I mean,
Yeah.
and then kind of summarizing it or concluding it. So you were observing the polarities without judgment.
Yeah.
Just acknowledgement, and then everything. It sounds like everything kind of intuitively or naturally zero pointed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No work.
That's powerful.
Just consciousness. Just
Yeah.
seeing it without judging, in the flow.
Yeah.
Without looking for it or without judging it or analyzing it. Just okay, I see it. Okay, I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was happening as I was going through it, and at the same time, the body was cleaning out my shit.
Yeah.
So it's, wow, okay. And this lady episode, and then all of a sudden, I'd see somebody go by and I'd say, okay, this person was abused. It just came alone on itself. It's like a flash.
Did you? I mean, because I know you connected, and you're a practitioner, and you because from talking to you before. But do you feel like you ramped up somehow?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, sounds like
see more. I feel more. I see more. Oh yeah, it went up. Even an episode I had, I went to take a shower, and in the shower, I looked at my feet. And all of a sudden I saw this plasma. Plasma. Did you ever see plasma?
I think I have a couple times. Yeah.
I think it's plasma. I call it plasma. It's like jello. It's like
Yes.
it's moving.
Yes.
And you can see through it a little bit, but it's moving, and it was around my feet, and it was alive. It was moving, but it was green, emerald green. So it was going through my feet and just moving, and almost, just stopped at my ankles.
Wow.
And as soon as I tried to, I was all, wow, what is that? And then as soon as I tried to look at it, it went away. So it was probably through my third eye. And I said, okay, what?
I think it was a little bit of both. It sounds like it.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I've noticed that when I see things, this happened to me last night.
Yeah.
I can't remember what was going on, but I remember specifically seeing this energy, because we just found a place after almost 4 years, and so we
settling down.
It found us, or it just all aligned, and so it's a duplex. It's a duplex, and one side's currently being redone, and we took the other side, and we're hoping to be able to get the other side and kind of like put in a Sology house or something, but. So when I got here, there on the side we're on, we both saw it. There was a lot of energy moving around, moving in and out. And I know it's a portal because I've talked to the land now and all that. But the other side was really a lot of dark energy. So I started going over there and talking to him and explaining things to him and whatever. But anyway, last night, so this is kind of indicative of what you're talking about. And I have a curiosity about it. Why is it that when something appears, and I know it's a fusion of the third eye and the two eyes, because it's physical, I can see it, but I can also see it here. But when I look at it with my two eyes, it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but that's how it's always worked for me.
Yeah. Me too.
So did you, this whole thing with the emerald green really resonates with me, as well as the plasma, because the plasma, I know one time we had an experience, Morgan and I, last year, and the plasma came in and explained to us that the plasma is like, how do you put this? In other words, there's plasma before physical manifestation. It's almost like a precursor to the physical, the transformation that you will see or become in the physical. So I don't know, but how about the green? Have you connected to that at
Well,
all? Figure out what that is all about?
well, I'm making it. It's because I saw that green dragonfly. It was the same color. I'm surrounded by green, green, green everywhere. On my windows, I have a big patio window with green, a really big window, green. I see green everywhere. And I guess it's maybe the grounding. Maybe, I don't know if it's the grounding, maybe. I haven't figured it out yet, but I have a feeling it was like grounding me. While I was there, because it was a lot of negative energy. In a hospital, you really don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of stuff in hospitals with my mother and entities coming into my mother. I saw it in her eyes. I could see she wasn't in her body, kind of thing. Where I took out the entity. He said, "No, you're getting out now." And my mother worked with that entity to get it out. So I know there's a lot of negative, and it's like a hospital is like a wormhole. And I know that some of the ladies I worked, the group worked with hospitals.
Yeah.
They worked with the hospital where I was. I was sort of a pillar, because I'm a pillar kind of person. I'm a security or a grounded kind of person. I've always been a little bit like that, security and strong, and that's what I look like, but I'm not that strong. But anyway, somebody who's grounded. And so maybe it was while they were working on it. I don't know, but it felt like grounded. It showed me this: you're okay, you're protected, or you're grounded. But I had no fear though, because when I saw the smoke of the entity came right through the door, right in front of my face, I said, "No, you're not coming in. No, you're not going to touch me." And just went in front of me and went to that lady, where I visualized a dome over her to protect her, because she was vulnerable. She was very vulnerable, and she could see. Anyway.
It sounds like you were holding space.
I think so. I think I was. As much as I was holding space, and these friends of mine were working also in that space, but also other hospitals.
So that's very cool. So you meet with this group with Suzanne, who's actually one of Morgan's friends from Adelaide, and Gayatri and the others.
Yeah.
So you guys meet, etherically and I guess online as well.
Yes,
online. And you consciously merge your intentions and what do you guys do?
Together, yes. Everybody has their, Gayatri is the dragons. Bernadista works with energy. Mehita works with the rose and other things. Everybody has their own thing. But if we need somebody, they're there. So it's a beautiful group, family. It feels like family. It's beautiful.
That's powerful. That's really powerful. That's
very hard,
That's a really cool.
I feel blessed.
Yeah, that's a really cool byproduct of. I've been shown in.
It's because of Soulology. It's because of you and Morgan. That's how we met.
Yeah, that's what.
It's.
Well, I remember years, and this would have been back. So we've been together almost 5 years. Wow, I didn't even know that. But I remember about 3 years ago. I think it was before she ever came over, and I was, because I had this thing, like, and I know it's a program. You're not doing enough. It's not working. All that BS. That your old program plays. And but I remember talking to her like 3 years ago. And she's like you, like she sees everything. And she was telling me, you don't understand, because I wasn't complaining. I just must have made a comment. And she said, you don't understand. I can see all the connections. And she said, like these little cells being created, talking about groups like you're talking about. So that's nice that's a
Yes.
nice validation.
Confirmation that it's doing what it's supposed to do, because it's so fantastic. I feel blessed, really, really.
Yeah.
And I thank you both for that.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being a part of it. Somebody had a question. I don't know if this is something, I think it's something that you might be able to address. I don't usually do too much with the questions in the comments, but when I feel it, and thank you, Rachel Anderson. She says, how do you release an attachment to your third eye and heart chakra? And I guess let me add something to it. I at least from where I'm sitting, it looks like, and a lot of people have come on here and said the same thing, especially practitioners, that something's changed in terms of how things were, the paradigm, in terms of let's say practitioner and client, where it's kind of moved into self-empowerment.
Yes.
Not that practitioners go away, but that's really the focus of it. So having said that, is that something that you could answer? Is it something that needs to be done through a practitioner, or is it something that we can do for ourselves?
Okay, what does she mean by
She's,
what
attachment?
Is attachments? Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Rachel, you can add that comment in there. What do you mean by attachment? So how do you release an attachment to your third eye and heart chakra? I don't know. I haven't heard as much about attachments in the past few, certainly in 2020, than you used to hear about a lot, removing implants, removing attachments and such. Yeah. I don't know, because you're a practitioner, right? You work with people, right?
Well, I work through neurology. It's like my tool.
That's right.
That just my tool brings me further, where I'm with the person I'm with. I get.
So that's like the key that opens the door for you to get out into dimension. Yeah,
exactly. And I have a feeling it's going to move on further since I've been here.
Yeah.
This is what I'm feeling, and I don't know what yet. Could be through another kind of healing. I just don't know yet. But my intuition opened up, my visual opened up a lot more, and which I closed when I was young, because I was in fear when I was, when I see things, and I was alone, and anyway. But now it's starting to open up again. Yeah.
She goes on to add this. She says, it feels like my third eye is broken as a deep hole in my chest from connecting with someone I wish I could take back. Oh, well, there's your answer. I don't mean to make fun of you at all. I'm not making fun of you, but it sounds like, like so many times in 2020, you ask a question, the answer appears at the time. But so it sounds like the attachment is related to someone that she had an experience with, or probably a relationship. Well, I don't know. That to me sounds like what you did in the hospital, the polarities and the zero pointing.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say the same thing. I think Morgan does do the job. It's to work on the polarities and detach from that person. First of all, detach. Doesn't mean you don't love that person anymore. Just detaching and neutralizing it, and not give that power, because the attachment is the power. That person has a power over you, that you're permitting that power, and you're responsible of permitting that power. So it's detaching.
So what she's feeling is really symptomatic of the issue that you're describing. And people, I did not understand the polarity thing, and because for whatever reason. And I think when somebody gets it, that it really does change a lot of things, because we always identify with, or at least in the old paradigm, we identify with one end of the spectrum. So like you in the hospital room, I think that's a fascinating example to be able to look at and really own, for lack of a better word, own what you were seeing in yourself. And I love how you said it, you're looking at this, oh yeah, I guess I did that. Yeah, I do that. But then to look at the other side too, is I think equally, and I think this is something that people are starting to come to.
And I think it's easier. This is the feeling I'm getting. Ever since for 3 months now, I have a feeling just by being conscious without going into the analytic part. Get rid of the brain, because I have a brain a lot. I can be really analytical, and so once that's out, then it's just you see everything. It's all of a sudden you see everything, and as you see it really with your heart, you see it without judgment. It happens. It happens. Maybe the work. I know the work. If you want to go into all the details and all the. And
I think that's
Maybe it can happen that way, but
she makes the distinction that zero pointing is not shadow work, and I think because I think most of us picked up on shadow work. That was part of our early healing. So when you do that, the story is a big part of it. And I remember meeting Morgan, and she'd be like, she'd let me talk for like 30 seconds and say, do you want to tell the story or do you want to fix it?
Yeah, right.
And so that kind of taught me something after a few times that the, in other words, it showed me how easy it was to change my perspective from the story to alignment.
Yes.
And so it like took all the personal stuff out, and I got rid of a lot of self-judgment, self-loathing, whatever, sabotage, and those type of frequencies when I started to look at myself as almost like the third person, I guess.
And when you do that, you see others in the same way.
Yes. Well, that's the payoff.
That's the payoff. So when you see somebody going through their stuff, their stories, okay, you don't take it as personal because you're detached. As we're doing this work, we're detaching. And detaching is so freeing. It's so freeing because even though, there's something that happened before my ordeal where I helped somebody, a friend, that was going through a really rough time, physically and emotionally and psychologically and every way. Okay, and so she needed help, so I was there. I wasn't there that much, but I was there, And because most of us are empaths, I know that this is what I'm learning. Okay, this was a lesson for me. I'm starting to sort it out. I still have stuff to sort out, but it's so fresh still. But maybe this person I gave help to, maybe I took a piece. I took a piece of her suffering, or took my empathy.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Maybe my empathy, I wasn't detached while I was doing it, because we're talking about detachment. So you can be empathetic, but you don't have to take somebody else.
Don't take it on. Yeah.
No. And that's very important when you're doing work.
It is. That is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is preparing me also to work differently and not take on somebody else's stuff. And she was she was suffering in the stomach area also.
Oh, well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It wasn't the intestine, it was more the uterus, but still, it was the same area. I don't know. And maybe, I still have some
well, I know that's how that works though, isn't it? I mean, it's like the stuff comes in and it is all kind of melding together now. So you have the physical experience and you have the
triggers. It's
dimension.
Yeah. It's triggers. And maybe that's trigger was meant for me to do that, the whole thing.
Yeah.
To meet that medium, to see what I saw, to feel what I felt, and not in fear. I could have been in fear, and I wasn't. It's weird, but I wasn't. So anyway, I still have some sorting out to do, but I'm getting there. But I know it's how can I say? It's things are happening so fast. And it's all part of this new phase we're going in. you know, we're going in new phases every day, every moment, but it's like a big change in my life in every aspect. And so maybe this is, you know, I'm going to reboot. I'm rebooting.
Yeah.
And that energy is different. I'm different also since I've been here. Anyway, so we'll see what happens.
Well, that's very well explained, because it's almost unexplainable what's happening.
Yeah.
But one thing that seems to be happening for everybody, and I mean everybody I've talked to or been or seen or been exposed to, is it's, you know, ascension's not a personal. Don't take it personal, like Don Miguel Ruiz says, but it's a very it's getting very personal. Like it's very singular. Like I keep saying, you're looking at this mirror and it's not you know, proportionate. It's huge. You know, it's like going to one of those fun houses at the carnival, and your face, whatever it is, gets right in your face.
Got it in your face. You got it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Whether you like it or not, you got it in your face.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's different for everybody. But everybody's moving.
Yeah.
And everybody we meet are helping us move towards that.
Yeah.
So there's no fluke there. It's all, there's no coincidence. It's everything we're going through is part of this community. You know, I'm thinking of this girl that triggered me, and then the girls that were working on the hospital with me, and you know, it's all
that's fascinating. So that's fascinating. So you guys have a little group of 5, 6, 7 people, and you share your situations and so on, circumstances, and you actually consciously and intentionally combine your efforts to, and usually utilizing your own specialties to achieve alignment, or whatever you want to call it.
Absolutely.
So if a couple of them, you mentioned somebody would be great. I think would be, I'm looking for new, new things, new presentations, productions, whatever, collaborations, new ideas. And so I think, you know, I just put it out there because I know some of those ladies, and I'd love to sit down with the group online and share it with everybody, what you guys do. And
that would be
fun. I think that'd be a powerful thing for people, because of the, you know, I've always been told that, you know, when they tell me, you know, you're going to do Soulology, I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, and they'd always say, well, you can't do anything that's been done before. And number 2, you're adding frequencies to an ever expanding vibration. So the more frequencies that are involved in a production or a show or whatever, to me, the more opportunity there is, because as it was explained to me, you can't divorce yourself from any aspect of the universe. So doesn't mean you're going to be like best buddies, like that energy that came into the hospital. You don't have to say, hey, come here and give me a hug, but you can acknowledge it as being part of, you know, the whole composite.
Absolutely. And
yeah, so talk to them and see what they say, because I think that'd be awesome.
I would love that. That would be great. And I'm sure, I think they would be open to that. Really, I do.
Yeah.
You know, a few of them, you know, already. So
Delia said, Delia, who was on this morning, now I realize, by the way, these three divine feminine on today, yourself included, there's something to it. Like I'm probably going to have to lay down for a couple hours after I get off with you. Anyway, she said divine feminine circle, sacred feminine embodiment. That really resonates. Like of all the things that are happening this year and even these last few weeks, which have been just ridiculous. Of course, you've been right there, you know, at the most earthly level you could be, given what you just talked about. But it's I think the one thing that can be pointed to, from my perspective, is it's more than the reemergence. It's more like the coming out of the divine feminine, the mother goddess energy, whatever you want to call it. And I can see what she was saying, because, you know, we're 2 or more gather. Like there's something about that network of feminine connection that I mean, I can't even relate to it as a man. There's no way.
It's multiplying.
Mhm.
You're creating the multiplication. That's what you're creating with Soulology. It's like 2 multiplied by 2, 4 multiplied by 4, 16 multiplied by 16. Can you imagine when we're at
Mm.
2 billion? I mean, it's all multiplied.
Yeah.
So you're creating that with one person.
Mm.
That creates another person, a group, and other groups, and other groups, and other groups. I think the lady you interviewed just before me, she was talking about groups that
Yeah, yes, that was really interesting what she was talking about, which I think is probably the same
Yeah.
template, you know, so to speak. I mean, the same what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and what Delia's talking about.
Yeah. So
Powerful.
all these beautiful, powerful women and men. I would love to have men in our group. You know, I mean, it would be fantastic to have men.
Yeah.
Men. Because
Well, I think they need to start meet. I think we need to meet with each other first before we're ready to go.
That'll be.
And there's some out there that are doing it. Jason Michael Powers is doing it. I think Miguel Dean's been doing it, but I think because I used to say this all the time. You know, like when I first really got introduced to the whole energetic makeup, and of course it's through Morgan. She was explaining to me, you know, things, and I thought, well, that makes sense, because you know, if you walk into a locker room, you know, like an athletic center or whatever the case is. I mean, I spent many years in locker rooms, and if you walk in and as a man and go, hey, I'm having problems with my wife, they're all going to look at you like you're an idiot. But if you're a woman, and I would imagine, you know, I have 3 sisters and but a woman walks into an environment, whether she knows them or doesn't know them, and has something like that to say, there's a full-blown support.
You know, it's just that I've worked a lot with men, most of my life with men. And I felt very comfortable with men because it was difficult with women. One part of my life, it was difficult with women. And then I cured from that. I love women. But I find, you know, when you had those shows with a few men, I loved those shows.
Which one?
Men that were vulnerable, that would talk.
Oh, yeah, those were good. Michael Van Patten, Paul Henreiter.
He has more of those, because we can't do this alone. I mean, it can't be just women. It has to be men too. I mean, and when I saw the vulnerability then that's what you have, that talent, Todd, to make us feel comfortable.
I forgot about that.
You make men feel comfortable. I think you should have a group of men.
You're right.
And because you
ding, ding.
Yes, absolutely. Because you are you're a ketita.
But here I am going. Here I'm saying about
what I have in my stomach. You're the link. You know, you have that. You know, you have that
catheter.
Yes, that's why I was there. So you are that. You can do that.
I know that's a compliment, but that's really funny.
You are.
Hey, is Marita in your?
Let's take the pus out and the shit out, and you can do that so well and without judgment. You know, I mean, because you're so you can be vulnerable, very, very humble, very, very humble, and that makes men feel comfortable. They can become vulnerable too, because when you're around somebody like you, so you're a perfect example for it. And I loved those shows, and I hope that you had more men that would open up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Who they are.
Thank you for bringing. I had forgotten all about those.
No, don't.
You know, I've forgotten all about those, and you're right.
Fantastic shows.
It's
I've seen men suffer in silence. Suffer.
I know. I
love to show your emotions. No, don't show your emotions. You're not a man. You know, and playing all those games, men games. I've seen them all. You're hiding. Anyway, I could see it's not their fault, because they were brought up that way and they had fathers like that. So anyway,
is Marita in your group too?
Yes.
Okay, because she just put up a comment. I didn't know what it meant, because you said we need to get men in there, and she goes, "Oh, what? We're not enough." And I had a feeling she was in that group too.
That's
that's a powerful group. So you got you, Gayatri, Marita,
and two others
Suzanne.
that you don't know yet.
Huh? Oh yeah. But that's
Fantastic.
powerful that
Yeah.
regardless of where it came from, I'm just saying that that's a powerful thing
Yeah.
for people from all ends of the world to be connecting like that. Wow.
Because we have to connect with India
Yeah.
and Australia
Yeah.
and Montreal, so that we have only one window to be all,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. You would have to really, I know that from scheduling shows, when they're not all available at the same time.
Exactly, but we can meet one to one too. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
them meet on their own, and but we don't have to be all together. But sometimes we need to.
So how did that occur? Was it just like a natural thing? I mean, like
Your show did that. Your
so
show,
two people, so two of you
started.
connect, because I knew Suzanne connected with
Yeah.
Gayatri because I
Okay.
talked to
Started
Suzanne.
where Merita for me. Merita communicated with me. She presented me Suzanne.
Uh,
And then I said, why don't we, I created a group. I said, why don't we make a group? Wouldn't it be fun? And then I added in my two friends. And then we said, okay, we'll call it cosmic name. So that's how it happened, but just because of you, because of
that's
you.
far out. That's really far out. Well, it's not me. I'm just a conduit, but I appreciate it. I
Morgan,
accept that compliment. And,
your creation created it. Yeah.
well, yeah, my mission. They told me to do it.
Yes.
They told me to do it. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. So you see how
Isn't it-
it's fantastic how it comes back to you,
Yeah.
because it
That's,
brings
yeah.
a lot
But
of love.
I think that's happening too in 2020, which seems to be different than, well, I think it started around the 1st of January, maybe on the winter solstice. But you're really starting to see, like, if I look at Morgan, for instance, as a good example. So she's been doing this 20 years and been doing this for free, every now and then somebody might give her a contribution, and she never drew attention to herself and all that, but the work being done. And so it's like, then all of a sudden we do a radio show in May and she gets, 500 people want a session or a class. But what I'm saying is that it's like everything's being reciprocated now, not just what you're doing in the present, but all the work that's been done. And so many of those stories, I mean, the vast majority, 95% of those are women, like the ones that are in your group, because I know Marita's story. I know Gayatri's story. You were probably out there more than most of them, but, I mean, just being more public, I guess. But you're talking about women who have been,
I'm not
you're talking about women who left their families and the same type of thing, like, oh, you're going to do Soul Gym. I'm like, what is that? Well, whatever you do, you go do it. So that's what I did. But these women were like 20 years being, told this and this is going to happen and do this, and you end up losing your family and you're living in a room by yourself and you don't have a normal income, and how do you make it? And I mean, these stories are incredible.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
And that's what's coming to the surface now, I think, for the bulk of it.
And I think more and more and more and more, and it's creating a exponential. It creates it faster, so we're advancing faster because of one another.
Marita says, I don't know what you don't know what I'm doing now. So she must have, and that's another thing I was going to say too. When you said you felt like things, we were talking about the numerology, you said you felt like things were changing. Well, there's been a lot of them come on this year. And that's one of the things I noticed too, is like they're old, no, I don't say old, but they're pre-existing modalities and processes and even connections, like specific faces of the universe. It's all changing. Yeah. Like they're just changing. And to me, I was talking to Morgan about this last night and this morning, that like, open-mindedness, if that's the right word, being open is so, it's like, it is an absolute have to in this journey. You have to be open-minded all along the way, period, in every single department. And that's what I see with what I was talking about, like with you and with Marita. What she's saying is they're changing. They're they're
Oh,
just basically morphing, you
yes.
know?
Changing area, changing
Mhm.
life.
Yeah.
Marita's changing, Suzanne's changing, Gayatri's changing. I'm changing. Everybody's going through right now. We're not the only ones. Everybody's going through all this change. If it's not a move, it's a separation, or
Hmm.
it's like a new way of seeing life, or a new job, or whatever. We're reborning.
Yes, that's it.
We're
Re,
reborning
re,
constantly.
yeah.
Yes, and it could change tomorrow too. Again,
That's right.
again tomorrow. So we don't know what's is. So that's why we have to be in the flow and just open our eyes and feel and
It's really,
trust.
it really, now listening to you, because I'm getting activated the whole time I'm listening to you. You're activating me. So it's, so that, people talk about flow and they talk about being balanced
Yeah.
and da 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 da, and they cliche it to death, but it's really a vulnerable frequency. It's a
Yes.
frequency of vulnerability. It's a frequency of not knowing.
Mm.
And I love what you said too, because you have a day goes by, today goes by, and you go to bed and you put your head on the pillow and you're like, man, I got it. I got the truth.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you wake up the next morning and the truth is a totally different
Yeah.
truth. It's like it contains a truth you had,
Yeah.
has this huge influx of information and code that makes the truth you've had something different than it was. it,
Exactly.
it,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's the truth, and it's truth. What is truth? It's now. That's the only thing I can say. Truth now. Yeah.
Mm.
But
I
tomorrow,
love,
is
I
not going to
love
be
this.
tomorrow.
The lady you were talking about, Candace, the sister that was
Yes.
on, the previous show.
Yeah.
She said these outside groups are inside out
Yeah.
extensions of heart assisting in the unfolding. So,
In what's the last part?
uh,
Insisting.
assisting in the unfolding of everything.
Yes. Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
and it makes sense that women, for the most part, that you've got the individual divine feminine on her journey, and we've talked about that, like your journey, Marita's and Gayatri's and so on. And but now that you come together, that's not even something I thought about that's why I said when I was talking to Candace, like, well, that's a great idea. You should put her, she's talking about putting it into like a module, you know,
Yeah.
that's a powerful thing, man. That's really powerful.
It is. It is.
Because it's one thing to have, let's just say, like my grandmother she's probably the biggest influence I've had in my life since I got this far in my journey and realizing everything in retrospect. But she was always part of groups, right? She had all these different groups and clubs and stuff that she was in, and that's great. But it's another thing to have that type of environment in this level of infinite intelligence available. That's a really powerful thing. That's where what you said earlier, you have an exponential
Yes.
reaction.
Yeah.
Or effect.
Even, I mean, it goes further than that. It can be just in thoughts and not even seeing each other, not even connecting. It's working magically, I find, and it's going to go exponentially. I think this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I know you're right. Let me ask you this. So with this group, do you or any of the others experience an increase in dimensional or etheric interaction with each other? Like dream state or just knowings? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be, something that, you know how so much of the stuff comes in. It's just kind of like a little blip,
Yeah. Well, it depends on who.
Yeah.
It can change. Some are more affinite with each other on that
Yeah.
part. Others are less, but whatever, this doesn't matter. It can happen.
Yeah.
Where I'll think, and that person writes to me, do you want to talk? Yeah. Hello.
Wow.
I need to talk. Yeah. I'm here for you if you want. How did you know I needed to talk? It does happen.
Yeah,
It does.
I would think so.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
what's so powerful about it is, like, Morgan and I have talked about it. We've had some monad experiences with people that walk the earth, unbeknownst to them, unless we tell them. But you're actually, I mean, in other words, you guys are up there in a circle up there, figuratively speaking. You're in the ethers, your higher selves, whatever you want to call it, and yet you're actually duplicating or replicating it right here, which to me, go back to the word exponential. Now you have the new math introduced where you have that, because I believe the whole thing's about, fusing the physical and the non-physical.
I heard from a few of the girls in the group, and I don't understand. I didn't go through it myself. I heard it from them that we each have 100 monad is 111, and each one of us, we're part of 111.
Wow.
And so there's 110 if I count myself, other people, and I have 111 in my group. Gayatri has 111. Bernardita has 111. Merita has 100. Luz has 100. So if you put all those together, it makes a big gang. There's a lot of people. So that's why it's exponential.
Yeah, we were shown that. The number was 12. Okay. No, I'm not saying that one's right or one's not right, but I'm just saying. But the important thing is that the equation you're describing. What we were shown, like say there was 12 in the, up there, that each one of those 12 had 12, which means that each one had 144. And so, I remember this coming in a couple of months ago. She pulled this in, and it was that humanity had gotten to a point where this was available. And what it was that when you were engaged with your group, that when you pulled something in, I guess, everybody got it. It's like a beehive intelligence. So, and then you could also pull from anyone in that group, which we know that that's how it all works. But this is something different because we're in this transition where the embodiment is so important. So the human efforts, like what you guys are doing, that's probably got to be, whether it's me and Morgan in a relationship or a group like this, you're talking about that's got to be the most powerful thing because you're including the human.
Yeah.
And the human is the kind of the one that brings it full circle.
Yeah.
So, and then the two or more gather thing, that just makes it even that much more exponential. Yeah. So do you have any idea what you're going to get into with your practice?
I don't know. I'm telling you, Todd, I've been going through this for a while where I'm advancing. I have one foot on one tile.
Yeah.
And it's dark, it's black all over me. Around, I'm in this space. Okay. Yeah. And then I get the confidence. I try and no fear is to put my other foot in front of me and know that there's no tile there. Just know that as I put it down, the tile is going to appear. Yeah. This is how I'm feeling. And I still feel that right now, since I've been here, that I know there's something, I don't know what yet, there's something that's going to come to me. I won't even have to, because
exactly.
I would work hard to go and get it. No, I just have to be at the right place, the right time. It's going to happen. There's something that's going to happen. I don't know what. Honestly, I don't know what.
Yeah, you said it. That's a really big one too, because I've been watching this for a couple of months. This part of it used to be very much like if it was a masculine thing happening, you saw it in the men. If it was a feminine thing, and then I saw something change, and I started to use the word patriarchal instead of masculine, because what I was noticing was that whatever was presenting itself that was working itself out, I was noticing it in men and women.
Yeah.
And it had to do with what you're saying, which was the patriarchal is like, I got to go get this, and I got to make this, and I got to plan this, and I got to build it. When really that feminine part, allowing that feminine to let go of that. And what happens? You create a vacuum, that feminine flows in, which is not black or white, it's gray. And and that's part of it. It just comes. It comes. If it doesn't come naturally,
you have to combine the two, though. Yeah. You really have to combine the two, because the two are important. But it's not waiting at home and wait, to see what happens. No. It's in the flow while you're moving, while you're doing something that you love. Okay, whatever. You only do things you choose that you love, but you stay conscious in the moment. And I know the flow, but the flow works with me. I understand it now. I really embodied the flow. I know what that means now because I embodied it. And so when I'm in the flow, I'm not in fear, even through the hospital thing.
Yeah.
I was in my flow.
Wow.
Crazy, you know. I could have freaked out, but I didn't. I hurt a lot, but I didn't freak out. I wasn't in fear. I said, I was in the moment. So I wasn't in the future. I wasn't in the past. I just, okay, so this is what I got to do. And every person I met, every doctor I met, wow, they were incredible. Young doctors, but really, really, really connected. I felt embraced. I felt reassured. So
I got to tell you something too, which is weird. I just remembered this when you brought up the emerald green thing, and then you just said the thing about the steps, right? Taking the step, you're on one tile, and I remember this about 2 weeks ago. I remember it was like being outside in the, you know, like say the moonlight, you know, and so there wasn't a lot of light, and there was a like water, right? Like a stream or something, and there was these emerald green. Now this is third eye, right? So there was these emerald green stones, and it was exactly what you said. You were standing on one, and there wouldn't be another one, and then you would take it, and as you took it, it would appear. Right?
yes,
That's weird. That's weird that happened, and you mentioned pretty much the same thing.
yeah.
So wow, this is cool. So we'll have to get. I saw Marita's up to something new. We'll get her on. You guys think about it, cosmic ladies, and you know, see if you guys want to come on and share. You know what you're doing. And Candace, I know you're still on there. You know, the same would go for you. I mean, if you guys want to come on as a group and explain, you know, what your experience has been like, you know, how you came together, what you do, what goes on, and, you know, that type of thing. I think that'd be a powerful program. So.
Sure, I would love to do that. Do I contact Morgan for that? I go through Morgan and say, well,
either one. You can contact me right now because she's we're both doing it, but yeah. Okay. You contact me if you don't hear anything within 48 hours, then you better contact her. So, but yeah, absolutely. And we can love to collaborate with you again later in the year and get another update and see what's happening.
Thank you for everything you're doing, Todd. It's bringing so much to this world. So many people. I feel blessed to know you. You help me grow. You help me be myself. You help me get out of my fears. Reveal myself. You helped me on many ways. Meet all these beautiful women. Thank you. I just want to.
You're very welcome, and thank you. Thank you. And I'm really happy. You got a really cool place there. The energy's very, very clear, and it looks very. And I noticed that right away. I thought, oh, she moved, but yeah, it looks incredible. So, but yeah, thank you for coming in and sharing space and honoring us with your presence and sharing so openly with us about what's happening. I know all the ladies weren't here to say if it was okay, but you know, I mean, it's cool, and that's what it's all about. So thank you for doing what you do.
And even thank you to Morgan too. Thank you, Morgan.
I will let her know.
She told me, I said, well, I guess I have to share whatever. We'll see.
Yeah, it was perfect timing. You take care. I'll see you later.
See you.
Okay, bye-bye.